This video is for principals and assistant principals who are appraisees this year using the new T-PESS framework. The steps are listed on the screen. First, you'll log into Strive and create your self-assessment. You'll rate yourself in each indicator. Remember, we always begin with developing and then move to the left. You'll include details on each indicator within the comments box. Remember what we discussed during the orientation. Whenever you mark needs improvement or distinguished, more detail is needed. You'll list your proposed actions for improvement, list the resources needed, and then submit to your appraiser. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm logged in as either a principal or assistant principal. So your first step is to click on Strive. Your default view will always take you to your campus. This is where you enter walkthroughs and view your teacher's information. But to enter your self-assessment, you will click on My Evaluation Process on the top left. This will take you to your screen for beginning, middle, and end of year. So we're going to drill down on beginning of year. And your first item here is a self-assessment, which has to be submitted by September 4th. To start your self-assessment, click on the plus sign, and then you'll hit Create. This takes you to the form that you're going to fill out. Notice that it's divided by domain, and here are the indicators that you would enter, and then you have your comment boxes. You will need your rubric, so you can either print this and reference it, or you could split your screen. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So if you just go to Google and you search for T-PESS, the first link will be the website. You'll hover over resources and select materials and videos. Notice that the assistant principal is first and then principal. So I'm just going to demo the principal rubric at this time. So if you click onto the rubric and you scroll down, you'll notice that it's one indicator per page. So if you were to split your screen and have Strive on one side and the rubric on the other, you would start with indicator 1.1. Always begin with developing. Determine if you're there. If you feel that you're above, move on to proficient. Then accomplished and distinguished. Remember, if you were ever to enter needs improvement or distinguished, more detail and evidence needs to be provided. So let's say here on ethics and standards, I listed proficient, and then I scrolled down and I went to 1.2. Well, I feel that I'm distinguished here. 1.3, maybe this one I'm developing. And of course, you'd be reading these and taking more time, but this is just an example. And then we'll say 1.5 is proficient. I wanted to show you at the very end of the domain, there are examples and artifacts which could help you fill out the rest of the information. So when you have your comment boxes, this is where you are filling out more information. Okay, this is your self-assessment. So assistant principals, it would say APs here. So what I would suggest is just to start with 1.1, and I feel I am proficient because, and then finish your thought. And then just continue going through. So remember, 1.2, you have to provide more detail because I listed distinguished here. So I feel I am distinguished because, and then you would need to provide your explanation. And then what I would say is here you can pull some examples of what you do that provides evidence for distinguished. So you don't have to attach it here, but you could reference it. And then during your beginning of your conference, you would go into more detail and show those pieces of evidence to your appraiser. So you would just go through and address something for each indicator. So I'm just going to put dots here for now just so you can see that. And then 1.5. And then for proposed actions for improvement, let's say that I marked developing here on 1.3, remember? So that is the area that I would address under proposed actions. Anywhere that you're, below proficient, what do you plan on doing to improve in that area? So I would kind of repeat here on 1.3, I said I was developing. I plan to, and then that's where you would list what you're going to do. Is it a certain habit, routine, professional development, a new process at your campus, whatever it may be, that's where your actions are. Keep in mind that this is probably where your goals are going to come from. So this is more of your self-assessment. You're thinking through it, and then you can fine-tune your goals after this. So, include as much detail as you can here, and then that'll help you with your goals. Resources needed. Well, what do you need to be able to do what you listed above? So I will need help from, I will need to attend a PD, whatever it may be. You're explaining this and creating your year-long plan here. Once you submit it, then your appraiser box will open up for the appraiser box will open up so they could put more detail and either confirm with you, provide you some more information. So you will go through this entire process. Remember, you don't have to do it in one sitting. You can work on domain one, close out, and then you can come back and notice it's not viewable. You haven't shown it to anyone. You just click on it again and then keep working on it. When you are ready to submit it, you will hit this button, Submit to Appraiser. Only at that time will they be able to view the information. So let's say that you've gone through everything, you're ready, submit to appraiser, and here's a date. Keep in mind you can still go in and change your information because it most likely will be changed. So your appraiser will see it before the beginning of your conference. They're going to want to read through it, understand where you're coming from, and then when you actually meet for your beginning of year, your appraiser may say, you know what, I don't think you're developing here. Let's have a conversation. Or, okay, you marked distinguished here. Let's have a deeper conversation about that. And collaboratively, you're going to decide where you're at for beginning of year. It could change. So even if you feel that you're distinguished here, collaboratively, you may have that conversation and it could possibly change maybe to accomplished. So keep in mind, beginning of year, you do it yourself first and then you talk together. So it will save those changes. You do not need to resubmit the changes. Your appraiser will see them automatically. If you have any questions, please let me know.